Good morning, fourth graders. This is Mr. Christofferson here, and today I want to show you how to compare fractions using a number line. I'm going to be doing two different examples here. The first example is when we compare fractions on a number line when the denominators are the same, and the second example is when the denominators are different. On the lesson plan document, you will see that you have two different IXL lessons. The first lesson is comparing fractions using a picture or using fraction models. Okay, we've done a lot of practice with that, and this video is not going to be demonstrating that. This video is going to be for the second IXL lesson. So when you get to the second IXL lesson, each question is going to have you do two things. The first thing that it's going to ask you to do is place fractions on a number line, and then the second would be to select the true statement, the true comparison. So what fraction is larger, what fraction is smaller. So here we go. So for this first question, I have 1/4 and I have 3/4. And you'll see on IXL that it already gives you a number line, and then pieces of the number line are labeled. So your first job is to put a dot on each of the fractions. So here I've labeled 1/4, and here I found 3/4. Okay, 1/4 and 3/4. Now this is a pretty easy example because the denominators are the same. Once we've placed them on the number line, now we see which one is further away from 0, which one is further to the right, which we can see is 3/4. So 3/4 is greater than 1/4. Pretty straightforward. Another type of question that you might see on the lesson plan or on the IXL practice is comparing fractions on a number line when the denominators are different. So here I have a fraction 3/4, and here I have the fraction 5/8. However, my number line is only broken into eighths. So I can clearly see 5/8 on my number line, right? It's labeled right here for me. 5/8. But I'm not quite sure where to put 3/4. I don't see 3/4 labeled on the number line. So what you need to do today is make an equivalent fraction, and this is what you practiced yesterday. So I've already put 5/8 on the number line. 5/8 is okay. Now I need to focus on 3/4, and I need to find where 3/4 goes on this number line. But I'm noticing that all of the denominators are 8. So for my new equivalent fraction, I want my denominator to be 8. If I can figure out how many eighths is equivalent to 3/4, I'll be able to put 3/4 on this number line. So my denominator is 4, and I want it to become 8. So I know that I need to multiply. 4 times what will give me 8? I know that 4 times 2 is 8. And if I multiply 2 on the denominator, I need to multiply 2 on the numerator. We need to have that same number, top and bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. So 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. Now I can place 6/8 on the number line. Okay? So here I have my two fractions labeled on the number line. I have 5/8 and I have 6/8. And I know that 6/8 is equivalent to 3/4. So really when I see 6/8 here, I can also think of it as 3/4. Okay? And which one is further away from 0, which is further to the right? 6/8. Which of these fractions was equivalent to 6/8? 3/4. So 3/4 is greater than 5/8. So let's review. You're going to have two responsibilities for each question. You need to place the points on the number line, then you need to select the true statement, the true comparison. Sometimes the denominators will be the same, and you don't need to find an equivalent fractions. Other times the denominators will be different, and in that case you do need to find an equivalent fraction.